Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tuesday evening here with us on our YouTube channel. If you're new to the channel, you can always visit Kabbalah.info and check out the authentic wisdom of Kabbalah and study with like-minded people from around the world. And you can also join the Kabu Academy there. If you're new and you want to just check it out, you'll find semester 1, 2, 3 lessons here. That might give you a nice little insight and a bit of a foundation into the wisdom of Kabbalah. And you're more than welcome to join our lessons, but just note that these lessons are for students who've been studying with us for a while, and we're just looking at some excerpts from selected material. Now, also, if you're one of the students who've been studying with us or who's still studying with us, just remember on the 23rd, which is this Saturday, we have a one-day Unity Day, so you're more than welcome to also join any group that's near you or watch online from the Kabbalah.info media channel. Right, we're going to carry on with the selected excerpts as usual, and the topic is the miracle of spirituality. We're going to start from item number 11, and we've got, I think, just 2 excerpts for tonight, and then we'll call it a day. So this is from Zohar for All, Veishlach, and Jacob sent. Let me go, for the day breaks. This is item 90 to 92. And as usual, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them through. We'll try to answer them as best we can. When the Creator erects Israel and delivers them from exile, a very small and thin vent of light shall open to them. And then another, a little bigger opening will open for them, until the Creator opens for them the upper gates that are open to the 4 directions of the world. It is so that their salvation will not appear at once, but like the dawn, which shines gradually brighter until the day is set. And all that the Creator does to Israel and to the righteous among them, when he delivers them bit by bit and not all at once, is like a person who is in the dark and has always been in the dark. When you want to give him light, you first need to light a small light, like the eye of a needle, and then a little bigger. Thus every time some more, until all the light properly shines for him. Such are Israel. And also, one who is healed is not healed at once. Rather, it comes bit by bit until he is healed. But the light of Israel gradually increases until they gain strength, and the Creator shines for them forever. That's a nice little excerpt. Let's go over it again. When the Creator erects Israel and delivers them from exile. So that's obviously when we get out of ourselves, out of our egoism, all right? So when the Creator erects Israel and delivers them from exile, means exile is being disconnected from the Creator, all right? And when he delivers them from exile, it means the Creator and the person who wants to attain spirituality, that's called Israel. When we're talking about Israel, we're not talking about corporal reality, obviously. We're talking about a person who has directed himself to the Creator, right? So Israel comes from the words Yashar, El. Yashar means straight or towards, and El means God, right? So straight to the Creator, and that could be anyone, all right? Anyone from here to Timbuktu can actually be Israel if he directs himself straight to the Creator. So the Creator delivers them from exile, and when he does so, a very small and thin vent of light shall open to them. So this happens very gradually. Slowly. All right, so just like in the morning, right? Or when you're in a dark room and you open up the light immediately, if you get a lot of light, your eyes are going to be a bit damaged, right? So the Creator is also aware of that. So what he does is he slowly gets a person used to the light. So we gradually build this relationship. Slowly, we get used to having this connection with the Creator. And then another, a little bigger opening will open for them until the Creator opens for them the upper gates that are open to the 4 directions of the world. So it means from all sides we'll be able to feel the Creator in all our vessels, both reception and bestowal, right? From all directions, that's what he's talking about. Within all our desire to receive. It is so that their salvation will not appear at once, but like the dawn, which shines gradually brighter until the day is set, which is something we're already aware of. If a person wants to correct himself, which is to correct his egoism, he can only do that gradually, slowly. So through that gradual process, the Creator opens up to him. And that opening allows a person to develop nicely in unity and adhesion with the Creator. Just like good developing children grow up nicely in the family with their parents. Okay, so this is the same kind of thing a person needs to go through with the Creator. Slowly growing up, getting to know the Creator, getting to know the world, the reality of the Creator. Just like as children, as we grow up, we begin to understand life, we begin to understand the world, how it operates and so on, and how our life is, and how we can direct our life according to how this reality is and so on. So with the spiritual attainment, with spirituality, it's the same kind of thing, because as we're growing up, what's really happening is we're adjusting more and more with understanding, with behavior, with our approach. More and more we're coming to the equivalence of form with the Creator. We're coming to more adaptive states towards spirituality. So we're increasing that adaptability. And all that the Creator does to Israel and to the righteous among them, when he delivers them bit by bit and not all at once, is like a person who's in the dark and has always been in the dark. When you want to give them light, you first need to light a small light, like the eye of a needle, and then a little bigger, thus every time some more, until all the light properly shines for him. All right, this is like the example which we just talked about. We need to adjust. So if out of the dark we get a lot of light immediately, our eyes will get damaged. So the Creator obviously has this procedure, right? Slowly, little by little, by settling our understanding through our emotions and intellect, we join them together. We're both walking on two legs, remember? We're using both the feelings, the emotions, and our mind to compensate in understanding to all the feelings and sensations we're going through. Such are Israel. And also, one who is healed is not healed at once. Rather, it comes bit by bit until he is healed. But the light of Israel gradually increases until they gain strength, and the Creator shines for them forever. And that is truly the case. All right, you guys stop me if there are any questions, okay? Right, so item number 12. This is again Zohar for All from Emor, the children of Aaron. Item number 3. How great is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you. How great is your goodness, meaning how sublime and precious is the upper light called good, as it is written, and God saw the light, that it was good. This is the hidden light with which the Creator does good in the world. He does not deny it every day. In it is the world sustained, and upon it does it stand. All right, that's item 12. Let's read that again. How great is your goodness, which you have stored up for those who fear you. How great is your goodness, meaning how sublime and precious is the upper light called good. As it's written, and God saw the light, that it was good. This is the hidden light with which the Creator does good in the world. He does not deny it every day. In it is the world sustained, and upon it does it stand. Right? So in order for us to understand how good the Creator is, we have to reveal it, don't we? We have to reveal the Creator's good and doing good. Okay. How great is your goodness, meaning how sublime and precious is the upper light called good. Upper light is how we feel the Creator as doing good to us. Right? And that's the important thing. That's the kind of sensation we need to get to with the Creator. We need to feel that He's doing good to us all the time. And that can only happen if we elevate ourselves to a level of goodness as well. All right. If we don't elevate ourselves to goodness, we can't feel good, because if we don't know what good is, how are we going to feel good? All right. So we're in our egoistic life here, and our egoism dictates to us how we live selfishly. And if everybody's an egoist and if everybody's selfish, then it's obvious that we're all harming each other. And it's also obvious we can't feel good in this life. All right. So I think we have a question. Okay, and that question is from Patricia. She's asking, is there anything one can do besides pray to to gain control over emotions? Oh, that's nice. Um, that's nice. Not really. Not really, except also to use the environment as a control factor. You can try to do that too. Because the environment can actually, if the environment is good and strong, it can persuade a person not to use certain things, certain traits. Okay. So this is also how we live in society, don't we? If the society doesn't approve of some behavior, I tend not to do it. All right. So it's the same kind of thing. So I can't really control it myself, because a person is born with traits, and actually we're like animals living with our subconscious, subconscious behavior. If you think about it, if you look at the street and how people live, they're like all instinctively living, aren't they? Something happens in life and they react. What does that mean? Well, that means they react instinctively. Okay, so we're all living in a state of, instinctive existence based on a program in our subconscious. So how to get out of that subconscious and elevate ourselves to a conscious level of behavior is a question mark. Okay, because that means we have to completely change the way we look at life. And the way to change the way we look at life really depends on two things, either suffering or the environment. Okay, because if we suffer, we learn through bad experiences, through pain. So when we go through bad experiences, we get to not do what we just did, okay, because we understand it hurts, right? That's called a bad experience. Or a good experience you can repeat. So the only way to control certain things is either going through problems or using an environment which can actually put me in a framework where I don't do certain things which the society thinks is unacceptable. But for me to control my own emotions, I need to raise and elevate myself to a higher degree, which means I have a higher level of understanding of my nature. Because if I understand my nature from a higher level, then I can say, well, that's not good. I shouldn't do that. And then I have control over it. Why? Because I've grown above it. Okay, just like when we grow up from being a child into becoming an adult, right? We don't do the same things as children do. Why? Because we grew up. So the same thing here, we need to grow up in spirituality and have the ability to, gaze at life from a different perspective. And that perspective should then give us the ability to control how our nature works. Ingrid's asking, what if one feels even more atheist and not a believer of the Creator than before finding Kabbalah? Well, that's natural. I mean, before finding Kabbalah, what did we believe in anyway when we spoke about God? Right? Most of us probably were in some religion, one way or another. Okay. And we were raised according to the beliefs of a certain religion. And they told us, I don't know what they told you, but they give definitions about God, Creator, anything. And all of a sudden we found ourselves in that kind of a belief. And then we're kind of, heartbroken with all the beliefs they fed us in life as we grow up, and we realize that that can't be right. Okay, so we're kind of our dreams are a little shattered in terms of faith. So we're looking for something new. And when we enter the wisdom of Kabbalah, it's very natural for a person not to believe in the Creator as in we're used to believing in God or whatever force, simply because in the wisdom of Kabbalah, there is no such thing as believing in the Creator, but there is attaining the Creator. Right? So we can't just blindly believe what people write in a book or even what Kabbalists explain to us. So what they tell us to do, the first thing is, well, let's sit down and study first and build an approach to life where we can elevate ourselves spiritually. Right? So this is what Rabash teaches us as well with the society articles, right, about the group. So it says, well, look, obviously I didn't create the world, so there must be some force that created me. There must be some force that created reality. And it sure wasn't me, that's for sure. Okay. And so what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do with this little dilemma that we've found ourselves in? On the one hand, we live here. Pretty soon we're all going to die. And that's evident to all of us. Nobody's doubting it. And then on the other hand, we're all thinking about, well, what are we living for anyway? What's the point if I'm just born, living and dying? I mean, so is a cat on the street or a dog on the street or a bird or even an insect. And let's face it, they've got a better pleasant life than we have. At least they don't have psychological dramas. They don't go around, causing chaos on the planet. They live in harmony with nature and in some kind of balance, but we're in a bit of a mess. So the Kabbalists say we don't really need to believe, but we need to attain a higher level of perception where we can evaluate and look at life through the eyes of the Creator. And that's called believing, because belief, faith, is the attribute of bestowal in the wisdom of Kabbalah. And the only way to actually look at life is through that attribute of bestowal, because then you see life like the Creator does. And then you've got some kind of an attainment and an understanding of what life really is. So getting to that, coming to that is normal, I think. And I think all of us have had to, anyone who came back, who came to the wisdom of Kabbalah from some faith, one way or another has to format themselves in their relationship with God. You're just going to have to format it, start with a blank page, a clean slate, and you're just going to have to, design that whole thing from scratch. So that's normal. Does it mean one hasn't started even the study of Kabbalah? Well, look, the study of Kabbalah really, really starts when we attain spirituality. That's when the wisdom of Kabbalah starts. Why? Because the Kabbalah means lekabel, right? To receive. From who? From the Creator, right? So if I don't have a Creator inside my perception, then there's nothing really to study. Okay, so how can I study a relationship if I don't have a relationship with anyone? Okay, it's not really going to work out, is it? So that's not going to work out for us. So the important thing is to come to a relationship with the Creator first. But even if a person hasn't yet perceived the Creator, I think the wisdom of Kabbalah allows us to start building some kind of an approach to life, which we can say are the acts of the Creator, because they're not my acts. All right, so they're everything outside of me. So if you think about it logically, right, if we just sat down and logically thought about it, there's me in the middle of the world called in my life. And in my life, all kinds of things are happening to me. Good, bad, ugly, beautiful, doesn't really matter. Sweet and bitter doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, life has a relationship with me, which I'm reacting to or relating to. So if I just react to it, I'm going to be living like an animal. Okay. And that's the majority of humanity. They're just reacting to life's events. If I want to relate to life, even if I haven't attained yet spirituality, I can start to study from the sources of Kabbalah, authentic sources of Kabbalah like Rabash and Baal Salam and Rav. And then we can say, well, they recommend that this is how I should relate to life in the meantime. Okay. So that I can have a different perspective to life. Okay. And if I start to do that, then in essence, what I'm really doing is reformatting myself towards life. I'm rewiring myself. Okay. So once I'm rewiring myself, I'm like, okay, this is a different experience now, right? Because now, despite the fact that I may not feel the creator, I have a relationship with life, which I can still say that is the creator. Okay. Because everything outside of me, I can say is a force beyond my control. And anything beyond my control, I can say, well, that's God, because I'm not, it's not in my hands. Okay. So that's now how you can start to build this relationship. Okay. Now, this relationship is not obviously understood by us because when life throws at us a bunch of lemons, we don't always know how to make lemonade out of them. All right. So it can be a little bitter, right? And a little, unpleasant. But at the end of the day, if you think about it, you have a different approach, which allows you to evaluate the good and the bad that come with life from a different perspective, which is above the sensation of feeling good or bad. Because now you're looking at life through an evaluation process rather than just I feel good or bad. Okay, because normally what we do is we run towards the good, right? Run to pleasure or run away from pain. This is how we relate to life, don't we? So everything we do, every calculation we make in life is based on these two things. But now, if I want to rewire myself and say to myself, well, okay, let's not worry about how I feel. Let's worry about how to use this situation in order to strengthen myself in understanding how I should advance more on the path. Right? Now, then, what have I done? I've kind of like went through an emotion, okay, which can be good or bad. That's fine. So I went through the emotions, but I'm adding to the emotions the mind to evaluate where I want to go with this emotion. Right? And that's towards obviously the goal. So that is the kind of approach we need to start building. Okay, Ingrid, how does one pray without belief of the creator? Well, that's easy. That's really easy. That's the easiest thing to do because in the wisdom of Kabbalah, they say whatever you want is your prayer. Okay, so that's the easiest thing to do in the wisdom of Kabbalah. So I just have to clarify to myself, I'm studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, and what do I want? What am I doing this for? Why am I studying? Why am I going through all these dramas up and down? Why do I have to deal with a bunch of people who I absolutely have nothing to do or no connection with in my life? What am I doing with these people? Right? So we're going through all these things. I'm looking at my 10 and I'm thinking, when can I run away from these people? When can I get out of this cycle? When can it just be me and the creator and nobody else? All right. So we're going through a lot of things as we study spirituality, but what I have to clarify for myself is what we call the intention. Why am I going through with all of this? And why am I studying this wisdom? What for? What do I want to attain? And this I need to clarify for myself every day. And when I mean every day and a lot of times during the day too. Not just every day, but a lot during the day. I have to renew it. I have to clarify it for myself all the time. So I want to be very clear when I'm studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, why I'm doing it for and what I want from this study. And as I study more and more, it's going to be more and more, I'm going to sharpen the knife a little bit. All right. So the more I study, the sharper it's going to be. And that's how it is. But that's how it is with life as well, if you've noticed. All right. Because we also ask the same question, don't we? What do I want out of my life? If I wasn't studying the wisdom of Kabbalah, and if I was living a corporeal life, and if I wanted, I don't know, all kinds of things, money, fame, power, knowledge, whatever, right? There's not a lot out there, okay? There are only a few things. If I wanted those things, I'd be sitting down and thinking to myself, well, if I want to get rich, what should I be doing? Right? What do I need to do? Where do I need to be? What's my to-do list? And the same thing here with spirituality. So it's all about really clarifying. A prayer is clarifying what you want in life. So that's not that difficult. Okay, every day we can renew it, we can do it, and we can clarify for ourselves what we want to do in life. Right, then Meydan is asking, why is it extremely hard for a person to speak? Does it mean that it is hard for that person to elevate himself to the speaking degree in spirituality? Well, you know, if you're talking about corporeality, why is it difficult for a person to speak? It's not relevant because some of us can speak a lot and nicely. Some of us don't know how to express themselves, but they're deeper. So we don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody has their advantages, disadvantages. But our corporeal traits are not a sign for spiritual attainment. All right. So you guys need to be clear on that. A person from the outside might look like, I don't know, you look at him from the outside and you think this guy's a complete idiot. But he may be really exalted in spirituality because corporeality is not a sign of spiritual attainment. And you might think, wow, this guy is really spiritually elevated, and he probably might have no idea about what spirituality really is. Just hasn't, but he just talks nice. All right? So you have to understand that every human being has something special about them that complements everybody else in the world. So I don't think we should see ourselves as being lacking or missing something in corporeality that is negatively impacting our spirituality. That's not how it is. All right. So don't worry about that. Serena is asking, I'm struggling in my 10. I want to ask things of my friends that I'm not able to give myself. So the only conclusion I have come to is that I can only correct myself. Is this correct? Yeah, you can only correct yourself. That is absolutely true. And you can see what you need to correct when you're working in the 10. So that's a good conclusion. At the end of the day, you're asking of things from the friends that you are not able to give yourself. That's nice to see. That's something nice to pray for as well. Mahir is asking, what kind of motivation do we need to do in the group until we understand or feel the work beyond logic? I think that's going to take a bit of time. And the motivation should be, I don't know, I guess it's different for everybody else. Motivation is different. Everybody's motivation to study is different. Right? My motivation is different. Yours is different. But at the end of the day, our common motivation is what is the purpose of life? Okay, so that's the common motivation for all of us. The question is how we're going to constantly find some fuel to chase that objective with motivation. That depends on how you guys connect in the group. And that's the important thing. You guys need to connect and make the journey fun and motivational and warm, friendly. You guys need to connect in such a way that within all the ups and downs on the path, that you still stick together because you're connected. Okay, like good friends, like family. You have the goods and the bad, but you stick around, you stick together, and you overcome stuff. If you can manage to do that, you'll go a long way and you'll go fast. If you don't, you're going to get a lot of slaps and it's going to be slow, right? So we just have to learn from life and really apply it in the group. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's 8:30. I do believe we have a Zohar lesson, and that kind of covers all the questions. Next week, we'll start a new topic next week. And until then, have a good evening and enjoy your Zohar lesson. All the best.